welcome back. We're on this camera. Hey, we're back on the Samsung stage, and I'm joined by Dan Hay, executive producer on Far Cry 4. This is the demo of the day that I've been most excited about. Dan, it's a pleasure to have you on the comfortable sofas we have here on the Samsung stage. You've got plenty of space. By the way, feel free to stretch out
Should I stretch
as you would on an
out?
airplane
I'm
if
totally
that
not gonna
makes
do
you
that.
comfortable. Yeah, maybe not. Just lie like this when we talk about Far Cry.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a bunch of questions for you about Far Cry 4. Your demo the other day on really blew a lot of people away. Like I think what a lot of people, myself included, enjoyed about Far Cry 3 was this playground that you kind of made for people to mess around in. I mean, yeah, there was a story, but then you could also punch tigers and whatever you wanted to do. So that was, well, not tigers, but lions, but whatever. It was great. So Far Cry 4, is it more of the same? Have you gone even more down that playground route?
I think honestly, when we're building Far Cry 4, we had one mission, right? We think about 2 years ago, we're finishing Far Cry 3, and we're like, where do we want to go next? And we started to talk about all the things we wanted to do, and there were some ideas thrown out of, oh, let's just stay on the island. Let's just keep Jason. Let's just keep all the characters that we have. And everybody's like, absolutely do not do that. I want to go to a new location. I want to be able to hunt new animals. I want to be able to see all kinds of different biomes. I want to be able to have completely different experiences, and I want to do it in co-op. So our game director was like, okay, look, here's what I want. I have one vision for this. I want to be able to get on top of an elephant, and I want to be able to smash through the walls of an outpost that's actually a fortress that can also fight back, and I want to do that in co-op, so if there's 2 elephants, you can do that too. And we were like, okay, let's do that.
Okay, now I have a bunch of questions, but there's one question that I'm hoping you might be able to confirm.
Okay.
Maybe exclusively for games, but maybe. Okay, not to put any pressure on you.
Yeah.
So looking at the setting, I just thought, there's one animal that must be in this game.
I know what question this is going to be.
Can I hunt a snow leopard?
A snow leopard?
Are there snow leopards in your game? Can I hunt a snow leopard in Far Cry 4?
You know what? There's a bunch of animals, but honestly, there's one in particular that I'm super afraid of.
What's that?
It's going to sound a little weird, okay? When you're walking through the snow and you're dealing with all this stuff and you got the elephant, one of the meanest animals in the game is the honey badger.
Oh, you've got honey badgers?
We have a honey badger. Those things are smart and they're mean.
Ah, okay. But no snow leopards.
You know what? We'll see.
We'll see. If you could put one in for me, that'd be great.
We'll see.
Because they're like super endangered, so you can never hunt one in real life, or probably ever see one in real life.
Yeah.
So in Far Cry 4, that'd be super great. But you got honey badgers.
Yeah.
We've got elephants.
We've got elephants. We've got a ton of different animals that are out there. I mean, what we wanted to be able to do is create this living world. We wanted to take you up to 12, 13, 14,000 feet. We want you to be able to cliff dive off of that and go into the wingsuit. We want you to see the living world, see all the systems that are there, and we want to have experiences that you haven't had previously in Far Cry. I mean, the idea of verticality. If you decide you want to get up in the morning, you want to have a digital vacation by effectively grabbing some carabiner gear and climbing up to the top, and you and a buddy just going wingsuiting for the day, buy Far Cry 4.
Awesome. So you said you and your buddy. Let's talk co-op.
All right, let's do it.
You guys dropped a bit of a co-op bombshell in the Sony press conference.
Yes, we
did. You're like, hey, you've got one copy of Far Cry 4. Your buddy doesn't. He can still play.
Yeah.
How does that work? Tell me more.
The way we built it was we wanted to make sure that we protect the autonomy of the single-player experience. So if you're a single-player person and you just want to be able to do that and have fun, you can do that. But at any given time, you're going to be able to invite your buddy in and be able to play in the open world. And from the standpoint of if you're on the PSN network, we want to make sure that if you don't have the game, you have a chance to be able to go out and try it. The nuts and bolts of exactly how it's going to work, I won't bore you with the details, but what I'll tell you is we're going to be generous. We're going to be generous. We want you to be able to basically download the game, jump into your buddy's game, play as Herc, play for a couple hours, run around, experience the entirety of the open world, take over some outposts, take over some fortress, understand what it's like to be able to wingsuit, to be able to climb on top of the elephants, to be able to get a whole bunch of new vehicles and weapons, and effectively play the game.
So you're going to get like a big taste.
You're going to get
and
a big taste.
the idea is that you get hooked after that big taste.
You're going to get a very large
and then you go buy the game. Okay,
absolutely.
cool. But so the co-op in general, though, so let's pretend we've both bought the game, we're playing it.
Yeah.
Is it the whole world of Far Cry 4?
From the standpoint of co-op?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What we wanted to be able to do is say, look, if you love the single-player experience, and if you wanted to go and take over that outpost or climb that tower or go climb that mountain, if you're playing in co-op, you're going to want to be able to do that too. We don't want to make it so that you can't do stuff. We want to make it so that you can play with the toy, you can enjoy the anecdote factory. So we make it so that if you see it, you can go there, and with your friend, you can have a blast.
Amazing. So you mentioned the verticality, you mentioned the mountains that you can scale and wingsuit off. But I understand there's also like a variety of environments. So we've got like, is there jungle as well? Like, is it descend? So
that was the thing, as we grow from sort of Far Cry 3, we want to make sure that you're able to see different experiences, you're able to see snow, you're going to be able to climb up and where it's super cold, you're going to be able to fly around and understand that you're in different biomes, you're going to meet different cultures. We want to give you the full varied experience, all the various of sort of different areas that you can play at the foot of the Himalayas.
Fantastic. So we're just watching through some of the, it's the brilliant explosive elephant moment from, from the gameplay of the press conference the other day. So you've got fortresses, right? These are outposts, right? So is that same mechanic back? There's going to be outposts around the map that you can...
Yeah, but these fortresses are outposts on steroids.
Okay.
Okay, so if you know an outpost from Far Cry 3, you know how it works. You kind of walk up to it. You understand that you got a 360-degree approach. You know how you want to attack it. These are a little bit different. One, they're bigger. They're stocked. Maybe there's elephants inside it. You don't know. They've got huge walls on them. You know that they're going to be tough to get into. Some of them are manned by mortars, and if you get too close, you're going to get pounded. So it's super important that you figure out that way, that 360-degree approach, and maybe call a buddy. You heard AJ say that. Herc, buddy, I'm going to need some help. Jump in and help me out here. And they're able to attack it by flying it over top. One person maybe is on an elephant. Another person's flying in on a wingsuit. Maybe they're in a gyrocopter. I mean, it's about choice.
Okay, fantastic. Well, speaking a bit about the wildlife, we got you'd be able to ride elephants, you said. Like, so you can climb on the back of an elephant.
Absolutely.
And ride it into battle.
Absolutely. If we do one thing right, we want to be able to weaponize an animal and have it be a living tank that is a very specific key to a very tough lock. That elephant is going to be absolutely badass.
What about that poor elephant when he dies, though? Like, how do you not die in that exploding car?
He's pretty tough.
I'm no expert on elephants, but
dude, those things are tough.
Yeah?
When you're on top of them and you got a bunch of Jeeps coming at you with a 50 cal, the best weapon in the game, in my opinion, is the elephant.
Did you go elephant riding in real life to try to, get an essence of that?
We did one better. What we did is we knew that we had to create a compelling universe to make sure that we understood what it was like. We sent a bunch of the devs over there, and what was really interesting is that we didn't get it right at the first time. We sent some guys over. They started to have an experience. They came back, and they looked at our game world, and they went, you know what, guys? We got the scale wrong. We got the feeling wrong. I need to be able to make it so that I can smell this game. That's what we want. It's got to be as real as possible. And we realized we didn't have it right, so we had to fix some stuff. We had to change the scale. We added in a couple of extra elements and different features and animals, and I think we've got it right now.
Cool. Now, in Far Cry 3, for me, there was kind of two stars of the show. There was the world, and then there was Vaas.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
He was amazing. Now, you've got a new crazy bad guy this time around.
Pagan Min.
Tell us about Pagan Min.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We want to make sure that it's not always the exact same brand of insanity, right? And what we do is we chase the performance.
Different brands of insanity.
Yeah, you know that when everybody met Vaas. Vaas was like that guy on the playground who basically comes up to you and says, okay, give me your money, right? Everybody has that experience when they're a kid where there's a bully. Vaas was absolutely the quintessential bully. Pagan Min is different. Pagan Min is that friend that you have that you know is bad for you. He's that guy that comes up to you after school, after work, whatever else, and goes, hey, dude, let's go steal a car. And you're like, this is a bad idea.
What are you talking about? I've never done that. What are you insinuating? What are you insinuating?
I'm just saying, everybody has one of those friends, and they know the truth.
If you don't have that friend, you are that friend.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know the fact is that if you got a buddy like that, it's super hard to... They're probably the most fun to hang out with, but the reality is they're not good for you. You're going to end up either dead or in jail. So Pagan Min is that guy. He's got charm, but he's also chilling.
He's pretty ruthless, as we see in this scene here, in fact. So is this the intro to the game, basically?
This is the first 5 minutes of the game from the standpoint of when you join the game, what we wanted you to do is experience the idea of smuggling yourself into a closed country. So AJ's literally got a fake passport. He's inside this bus, and he's trying to smuggle himself in. What he doesn't realize is that Pagan Min knows about him. He knows about him, and he's on his way to meet him. And what's really spooky about Pagan Min is that when he meets you for the first time, what you're probably expecting is, okay, this guy's going to take out a hammer and he's going to kill me. But the reality is that he looks at you and he goes, it's you. This is amazing. You're here. Buddy, let's do this. He gives you a great big hug and he says, we are going to go out and cause some serious trouble.
So so he's like the leader of this country, right? Yeah. He's a dictator.
Yeah.
So is he your adversary then, or is he your friend? Like,
it's a funny line, right? I come back to that friend. You don't know if this guy's good for you or bad for you. He's going to kill you with kindness. The reality is what's really scary about Pagan Min is that he's been leading this country for 20 years. His face is on the money. There is nothing that he can't do, right? Nobody said no to this guy for 20 years. So what's going to happen is you're going to walk into him, you're going to meet him, and he's going to say, let's go do some stuff, and you're going to go, maybe that's not a good idea. And you watch his face change as he goes, are you telling me no? Is that what you're doing?
Okay.
It's spooky.
Were you guys ever a bit worried, like bringing back, another kind of bad guy who's like totally out there, totally crazy.
Yeah.
But you're worried that people might be like, guys, you've done this trick already. You've had Vaz. Isn't this just Vaz too? Like,
it's hard. I mean, honestly, we wanted to know if we could capture lightning in a bottle again. You think about how great the performance Michael Mando gave. Think about how great Voss was, and everybody loved him. We put the character out there. People saw the first blush of sort of seeing him in the suit, and then seeing the hair, and everybody sort of judge a book by its cover, and then you meet him for the first time. I think they're so different that we went through the process of saying, if we put these two guys in a cell and we locked the door and we left them for 24 hours, who would come out? And the answer's not clear. I think the scariest answer would be they both come out and they're buddies.
yeah.
So for me, Peg and Min, we've done a pretty good job of making sure that this guy is different and unique, and it's about a different flavor.
But he's still pretty brutal, as we can see right here. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the weaponry, because we got you guys showed off a ton of new toys and weaponry in the demo there. So what else? What other types of things can we be expecting to get our hands on and dole out death in
I
Far Cry
think
4?
honestly, when you think about the fact that you know Far Cry is famous for its weapons. I personally like the snipe. I like the long draw distances of Far Cry. And you think about the fact that we know we have systemic flame, and we want to be able to make sure that that's part of what it is that you're playing and how you're playing. We also want to give you new vehicles. Like for the first time in Far Cry, you're going to be able to fly. So you're going to be able to basically climb inside the gyrocopter, and it's a co-op also. You're allowed to be 2 people in it. You're going to be able to fly up to those peaks, go anywhere that you want. You're going to be able to do death from above and attack. And then from the standpoint of being asked the question of what's the best weapon in the game, honestly, when you climb on top of an elephant and you realize that you can steer the elephant and you realize that it can ram, it's incredibly powerful. It's a living tank, right? And so you get on top of this thing, and it's a fantastic weapon unto itself. So I think the game is chock full of stuff that you can do, and it's very different from Far Cry 3.
Very different from Far Cry 3. All right, can you tell me more about that? In what ways is it different then?
I think what makes it different is that every feeling that you have when you're in there, you think about all the different weapons that you got, you think you got all the different animals, but just the space, right? Adding the amount of verticality that we have, and the idea that on Far Cry 3, we gave you the wingsuit. The key thing that we want to do is we want to learn from some of the things that we've seen. We want to listen to the forums, we want to listen to some of the people who are asking. We gave you the wingsuit halfway through the game. And by that time, maybe we didn't give you the best opportunity to use it all the place. So now you got 12,000, 13,000, 14,000 feet. You got 2 wingsuits. You guys want to go and fly
two wingsuits.
You got a wingsuit for you. You got a wingsuit for your buddy. You want to be able to fly through and do it in tandem and attack an outpost. Do it. You want to be able to fly into that outpost, and it's now a fortress, and it can attack back. Maybe there's animals that you haven't seen before in there. What happens when the doors open and elephants come pouring out? That's a scary thought.
Fantastic. That's a good place to end that. Thank you so much, Dan.
Cool, dude.
Really appreciate you coming on. It's been great to chat Far Cry 4.
Thanks.
Enjoy the rest of your E3. Where are you off to now?
Honestly, I don't even know.
I
follow until I go wherever they tell me.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Well, guys, don't you guys go anywhere, because we're going to be back on the stage in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, we're going to go for a floor report and I think over at the Sony booth. So let's check that out.